For the last 100 years, ordinary people have had to survive and outsmart the world's toughest economies. They faced double-digit inflation, global wars, and market collapses without budgeting apps, TikTok influencers, or credit card points. And yet, they still built wealth. But how did they do it? By using lost habits and financial secrets that have been largely buried by time. These aren't just tips you find on a blog. These are the most powerful money habits ever recorded, forged in the fires of history's hardest decades. And here's the crazy part. They still work in 2025. In fact, in our current economy, they might be the only things that work. Today, we are bringing them back. But not all of them are created equal. Some are famous, but others probably never heard of. So we are ranking them from worst to best on a tier list. We are going from the overrated C tier all the way to the legendary S tier habit that literally saved the world. Let's find out which era truly mastered the money game. We start at the bottom, C tier. The era is the 1990s and early 2000s. The hustle is extreme couponing. You remember this era? It was the age of the coupon mom. People walked around with massive 3-ring binders, treating grocery shopping like a tactical military operation. They would spend 20 hours a week clipping newspaper inserts, organizing them by expiration date, and driving to 3 different stores just to get 50 tubes of toothpaste for free. The verdict? It stays in C tier. Why? Because while it looks like saving money, the return on investment on your time is terrible. Spending 20 hours to save $40 is a wage of $2 an hour. That is not a hustle, that is a trap. Furthermore, it triggers a scarcity mindset known as spending to save. Retailers gamify coupons to make you buy things you don't need just to get the deal, turning your home into a warehouse for junk. The 2025 reality is different. Today we leave the scissors in the drawer. The habit is valid, never pay full price, but the method has changed. We automate this. We use browser extensions like Honey, Rakuten, or Capital One Shopping to scour the web for codes instantly at checkout. We use cashback apps to scan receipts in seconds. It's fine for saving a few bucks on things you were already going to buy, but let's be honest, getting 5% off a toaster won't make you wealthy. To build real financial muscle, we need actual discipline. For that, we have to go back to the 1950s. Moving up to B tier, we land in the 1950s with the cash envelope system. This was the golden age of the American middle class, but it was often managed on a single income with strict military precision. There were no credit card float periods. If you ran out of money, you didn't eat. The method was physical. On payday, you cashed your check. You divided the money into paper envelopes labeled rent, groceries, gas, and entertainment. The rule was absolute. When the grocery envelope was empty, you stopped buying food, you ate leftovers. You didn't borrow from the rent envelope. It lands in B tier because it works by leveraging psychological friction. Spending cash hurts. Neuroscientists have found that handing over physical money triggers the pain centers in the brain. Swiping a card does not. This friction creates a natural brake on spending. It forces you to be mindful of every single dollar leaving your hand. The 2025 reality is that carrying stacks of cash is risky and inconvenient, but the psychology is S tier. We apply this today using digital envelopes. Modern banking apps like SoFi with their vaults feature or Ally with buckets allow you to segregate your money instantly, or you use zero-based budgeting apps like YNAB, which force you to give every digital dollar a job before you spend it. It provides the same strict discipline of 1950, just without the paper cuts. But while this habit defends your wealth, it doesn't create new value. To do that, we need to get our hands dirty. Now we enter the big leagues, A tier. The era is the 1970s. The hustle is radical DIY repair. As we've talked about on this channel, the 70s were crushed by stagflation. Prices soared while wages stayed flat. Things became too expensive to replace, so people stopped being consumers and became mechanics. The method was self-reliance. If your car broke, you didn't call a dealer. You bought a Haynes manual and changed your own oil. If the toaster broke, you rewired it. If your socks had holes, you didn't toss them, you darned them. It takes A tier because this creates massive tax-free value. Think about it. If a mechanic charges $500 to fix your dryer and you fix it yourself with a $5 part and 1 hour of YouTube, you have effectively earned $495 tax-free in 1 hour. That is a higher hourly wage than most corporate lawyers make. The 2025 reality is surprising. People say they don't make things like they used to. But fixing things is actually easier today than it was in 1974. They had to rely on confusing diagrams. We have YouTube, university, and AI. You can snap a photo of a broken part with Google Lens to identify it instantly and find the cheapest replacement part online. You can describe a weird noise your car is making to ChatGPT, and it will give you the top 3 likely causes and a step-by-step guide to check them. This is the core of the right to repair movement. The barrier to entry is gone. The only thing stopping you is the willingness to pick up a screwdriver. But even this isn't the top. There is one habit that completely rewrites the rules of the economic game. Finally, we reach the top, S tier. The era is the 1940s. The habit is total resource maximization. In World War II, you couldn't just buy your way out of a problem. Money didn't matter if there was nothing on the shelves. Rationing meant you were strictly limited on meat, sugar, butter, and gas. New clothes weren't just expensive, they literally didn't exist for civilians. The method was a total lifestyle shift. The government slogan was, use it up, wear it out, make it do, or do without. But the crown jewel of this era was the Victory Garden. Americans planted 20 million gardens in backyards, empty lots, and even on city rooftops. By 1944, these home gardens were producing 40% of all the vegetables consumed in the entire country. It takes S tier because this isn't just about saving pennies on lettuce. It is a complete psychological shift. It transforms you from a consumer, dependent on the system, vulnerable to inflation, helpless when prices rise, into a producer. When you grow your own food, mend your own clothes, and cook from scratch, you detach yourself from the cost of living crisis. You stop reacting to the economy, and you start building your own. The 2025 reality is powerful. We call this sustainability, homesteading, or zero waste today. But it's really just the World War II mindset reborn. Whether it's meal prepping to kill food waste, buying high quality, buy it for life gear that never needs replacing, or growing herbs on your windowsill. It is the ultimate form of financial resilience. So there you have it. The ultimate breakdown of historical hustles. The 90s tried to hack the price tag with coupons. The 50s tried to control the flow with envelopes. The 70s tried to fix the broken with a wrench. But the World War II generation taught us the most powerful lesson of all. True wealth isn't just about having more money to spend. It's about needing less from the system to be happy and secure when you combine the discipline of the 50s, the skills of the 70s, and the producer mindset of the 40s. You become financially unbreakable. To get the full breakdown of these strategies, links to the digital tools I use to automate them, and a guide on how to start your own modern victory garden, check out the deep dive on my Substack in the link below.